Good morning, everybody. Hope you had a great weekend. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so last week we did similar triangles. We were able to find missing sides of a similar triangle, okay, by using an indirect measurement, and we were able to set up proportions. Okay, we're going to do the same kind of thing, but we're going to do this with quadrilaterals today. Okay, so again, our objective is going to remain the same. Okay, our objective is to find missing sides of a figure that is similar to another figure, and we're going to do this by using a proportion. Now, this is actually pretty simple, guys. It's actually very easy, and it would be even easier if we were doing rectangles and squares. Okay, but we're going to use some non-traditional quadrilaterals, meaning it's just four-sided figures. Okay, so let's take a look. I'm going to start with a really simple one. Now, they're not always going to be this easy. Yeah, but if you remember what we did last week is we kept the same shapes on the same level, and that's still going to apply. So if we keep the same rules, last week we did larger shape over the smaller shape. Okay, the biggest thing that you have to keep in mind is you have to keep them on the same level. So if I use the larger shapes on the top of my proportion, I have to keep those as the larger shapes. And if I use the smaller shapes, I'm going to keep those as the smaller shapes. Okay, so let's start with, remember, these are similar triangles, so the sides are going to be similar. They're going to be proportional. So let's start with what we're going to find. Where is our variable? Our variable is this side right here. So what side would that be in the larger figure? That would be from here to here. So let's start with this measure. So 60 over, and in this one it's going to be x. Okay. Now we're going to take another measure, and it doesn't matter which one you use. You can use any of them. Let's just say this one. Okay. So if I use 100, okay, what is that proportional to in the other figure? It's from here to here. So that's going to be 10. Okay. And now all we're going to do is we're going to find our cross products. Okay. So 60 times 10, 600, and 100 times x would be 100x. Okay. Now, in order to solve for x, we're going to divide each side by 100. So x would equal 6. So we were able to find this missing side by saying x equals 6. Okay. Now, again, this is a really simple example. Okay. But we're going to use proportions to set this up. Okay. Now, this can apply. Um, well, I'll show you later. I'll show you on our next lesson how we use this to apply for indirect measurement. It's actually a really handy tool. You guys are always asking me, when am I going to use this in the real world? Well, I'll show you in the next lesson how you use indirect measurement and how you are able to use similarity and with scales to find things, the actual measure. And it's actually pretty cool. Let's do another example. Okay. Okay. So we've got another example here where we're going to find a missing side. Okay. So let's go ahead and set up our proportion here. We can pick any side from the larger shape, and it doesn't really matter which one. Let's say I chose 24. Okay, so I'm going to put my 24 over here. What is it proportional to in this figure? Remember, it's from here to here. So what is it proportional to? It's proportional to the 6. Okay. Now, I have to remember that I have to include the missing side, which is this one right here. I got to include that in one of the proportions. So this next one, it pretty much means that I have to use this measure, okay, because it's proportional to this side, okay. So I'm going to put equals 16 over, and I'm going to use my x for this one, okay. Now, when I do my cross products here, okay, I'm gonna multiply top top to the bottom of the next one so that I can find out what that equals. Well, 24 times x, that's easy, 24x. 16 times 6. Okay, well, when we do 16 times 6, what do we get? 96. So 96 equals 24x. And we're going to divide each side by 24. And what do we get? We get 4 equals x. So we were able to find this missing side by using proportions. Okay. I know some of this you guys can do in your head. The most important part is that you understand this, how to set up a proportion and have the dimensions in the correct spots so that you are able to find a missing side. Okay. I'm going to give you guys an example and I want you to work on it on your own. Okay. All right. So write this one down. I want you to pause the video and I want you to go ahead and find the measure for the missing side. This one's easy, by the way, but I still want you to show me how you did it. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, in this one, it doesn't really matter. I can pick a side here. Okay, let's say I pick 20, and what is it proportional to in this smaller shape? It's going to be the 10, right, from here to here. I'm going to have 20 over 10 equals. Now remember, when I find a missing side, I've got to use the one that is proportional to. So could I use the 6 here? No. All I would do is set up a proportion. It's not going to help me find this missing side. So I'm going to use the 10 over x. Okay. Find your cross products. 20 times x, 20x. 10 times 10, 100. Divide each side by 20. And what do we have? 5 equals x. Okay. Hopefully you got that one correct. If you need to go back and watch this a few more times, that's perfectly fine. Okay, again, most important part that I want you to understand is how to set these up. All right, you'll have your assignment tomorrow, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. God bless you.